Hello, citizens. Welcome to Lasallian Listens.
Lasallian Listens is a podcast composed of students from different colleges of De La Salle University who all strive to be a Lasallian who listens.
Citizens, join us in elevating Filipino voices, empowering societal change. I am Ryan.
I am Kali, and we are your hosts for today's episode of Lasallian Listens.
Our topic for today's episode will be all about the social challenges posed by Filipino car centrism. Citizens, can you imagine a society without cars, without drivers honking, without engines revving, and without tires screeching? Well, this is obviously not our society, right, Callie?
Obviously, Ryan, what makes it even harder to imagine is our car centrism. In our day-to-day life, it is evident that Philippine society promotes car-based mobility as the primary mode of transportation, as characterized by a reliance on cars for daily commuting, leisure activities, and social interactions. Let's be honest here. Almost every Filipino wants to have their own car, mine included, seeing as it is one of their goals in life, saving money to own one, and even being in debt just to buy one.
I agree, Callie. So, in order to dive deeper into our topic for today's episode, let us now introduce you to a group of researchers as our special guest. We have researcher from the College of Engineering.
Hello, netizens. I am Julian.
We also have a researcher from the College of Science.
Hello, netizens. I am Jasmine.
We also have researchers from the College of Business.
Hello, netizens. I am Jani.
And I am Gabe.
Hello, researchers. Welcome to Lasallian Listens. Thank you so much for joining us in elevating Filipino voices, empowering societal change. So I have heard that your group conducted research on our topic in today's episode, the social challenges posed by Filipino car centrism. So based on your findings, when did the issue of car centrism in our society really started?
First, let's take a look at the local transportation systems during the Spanish colonial period. First, the calesa was introduced in the 18th century that consisted of a carriage, typically made of wooden materials, and was pulled by horse through the guidance of a cutsero. However, it was only available to the higher echelon of society, like the so-called ilustrados, due to their cost. Second, the tranvia was introduced around 1780, which was an upgrade light railway mass transit system pulled by either by horse or steam locomotives, and it was a popular option for the public, especially due to the increased economic activity and population in Manila attributed to the galleon trade. Third, the first interregional railway system was built in the 19th century, which was the Ferrocarril de Manila Dagupan, but now known as the Philippine National Railways or PNR. Fourth, bicycling was introduced in 1894, not only for transportation, but also for physical fitness and leisure.
In addition, car centrism arguably started with land transportation during the American colonial period. The automobile was introduced, which increased widespread car ownership, resulting in a transition towards urban planning and lifestyles centered around cars. Ever since the arrival of the Ford Model T in Manila in 1913, cars have evolved into symbols of status within our society, where possessing a greater quantity of newer cars is often perceived as indicative of greater success. The superiority of traveling by car is reflected in the use of apologetic lang, nag-commute lang, or naglakad lang in other forms of transport.
Furthermore, the Second World War brought an unfathomable amount of destruction to the Philippine infrastructure. The Battle of Manila in 1945, the fiercest urban engagement at the Pacific Front, completely decimated the tranvia lines from 1,140 route kilometers to the only 452 route kilometers, which the Americans deemed the damages to the beyond economic repair. Much of the focus was shifted to the construction of roadway infrastructure. The Pan-Philippine Highway, the North Luzon Expressway or NLEX, and the South Luzon Expressway or SLEX finished construction less than two decades after the Second World War. The neglected state of mass transit coupled with the booming rise of highway infrastructure has induced a lot of demand for private vehicles, as reflected in the sudden increase of local automobile production in the 1970s, to the point that the Philippines was the leader in the automobile industry in Southeast Asia back in the 1960s.
Thank you so much. Netizens, we have heard that the history of car centrism can be attributed to the Spanish colonial period, American colonial period, and the Second World War. Well, the effects of car centrism were revealed by the results of a lot of research. According to a study conducted by Oliver Wyndman Forum and the University of California, Berkeley, Metro Manila landed in the 58th spot for urban mobility readiness among the 60 cities surveyed worldwide. According to the Traffic and Navigation app Waze, the Philippines was rated as the least favorable location for driving among 39 nations assessed in the Driver Satisfaction Index. According to Esquire Philippines, the cities of Pateros, Mandaluyong, and Caloocan are also present in the worldwide top 10 most densely populated cities in the world, with the city of Manila as the top one with a population density of 119,600 people per square mile. Researchers, what are the causes of these effects of car centrism revealed by the results of your survey?
So, our research group conducted a survey where a total of 27 respondents shared the social challenges posed by Filipino car centrism they have personally witnessed. So, out of 27 respondents, the survey revealed that 51.9% or 14 individuals often use public transportation, while 48.1% or 13 individuals use private transportation. However, all of them observed the rise in the number of vehicles on the streets today, in which 88.9% or 24 individuals noticed an increase in travel time in their usual travel destination, while 11.1% or 3 individuals did not. Out of 27 respondents, the survey also revealed that 96.3% or all individuals except for one believe that the increase in the volume of vehicles at present times contributes to the worsening traffic conditions in the Philippines, especially in Metro Manila.
Furthermore, the individuals also expressed their opinions about why they think one would still want to pursue private transportation over public transportation. The first key point is that cars have held considerable importance in delineating social status. This is supported by our related research literature that among the upper class, cars of prestigious brands or uncommon models symbolized wealth and prosperity. Among the middle class, cars symbolized freedom of movement, practicality, and a desired way of life. Among the lower class, cars symbolized advancement and improvement in social standing. One may even say, lakas makapogi points to the owner as they share a similarity with the celebrities from numerous advertisements, movies, and videos depicting success to the point that others manipulate it by renting, especially since cars are visibly seen by people, unlike some other properties.
The second key point is people are prioritizing personalized modes of transportation. Well, this is also supported by our related research literature as it allows individuals to travel when and where they want without relying on public transportation schedules, as well as combine multiple destinations into a single trip to save time. Cars can also carry more luggage and equipment, so the convenience, comfort, privacy, and control that cars offer make it really a more attractive option than public transportation. Also, traveling privately does not compromise security and safety, such as carrying valuable items, which was pointed out in the survey.
The third key point is the lack of efficiency and effectiveness of the country's public transportation. Some individuals said ayaw ng siksikan, limited seats available, lack of facilities for PWDs, and grabe ang pollution. To the point that one even stated, in the end, you look like you just went off work, when in fact, you just started your day. According to 2017 evaluation of the World Economic Forum on public transportation infrastructure around the world, the Philippines garnered a score of 3.2 out of 7. This placed the Philippines in the 90th spot worldwide. This result shows that the inadequacy of our transportation system to support the Filipino people. The 46 total stations of the LRT and MRT network and the metro are far from sufficient. This is according to Gucci-Lectar 2017. Overloading of buses and jeepney are also very common during the rush hour. That's why Filipino prefer riding a car rather than commuting. And finally, over a decade, government budget indicate a significant allocation of funds toward road construction and maintenance, neglecting investment in expanding public transportation capacity, which has exacerbated congestion in urban areas like Metro Manila.
Thank you so much, researchers. Netizens, we have heard the three key points about the causes of the effects of car centrism. First, cars have held considerable importance in delineating social status. Second, people are prioritizing personalized modes of transportation. And third, the lack of efficiency and effectiveness of the country's public transportation. So, various legislative initiatives such as the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program and the Sustainable Transportation System Act align with the National Transport Policy to modernize public transportation, prioritize sustainability, and enhance citizens' quality of life. Researchers, I believe that the individuals are aware of the government's efforts in addressing traffic congestion in the Philippines, the ongoing projects with regard to mass transit or railway extensions, or improved systems for PUVs such as buses or jeepneys. So about those, what are their opinion about them?
So out of 27 respondents, only 14.8% or 4 individuals assessed it as somewhat effective, while 85.2% or 23 individuals assessed it as ineffective. Well, 2 respondents would not consider using public transportation even if it was really improved because one of them said that there are still a lot of problems that affect commuters despite multiple projects on improving and developing public transportation, quote unquote. While the other person did not experience any mode of public transportation at all. On the other hand, 25 respondents would consider using public transportation if it was really improved.
Here are the suggestions of our respondents to the government. First, cleanliness and safety must be improved, such as by adding several CCTV cameras within terminals and public transport vehicles or PUVs. Second, a more systematic public transportation must be combined with an online application that users can use to navigate and know their routes. Third, modernization of the existing public transportation modes must be without stripping away the cultural importance and heritage of the vehicles. Fourth, expanding transportation systems, development in rural areas, and making it truly affordable and accessible for the average Filipino citizen. Fifth, improving pick-up, drop-off of jeepneys and other public transport as well as bus terminals by having a specific time and place for loading and unloading. Sixth, investing more in trains for more routes with time systems and even improve road infrastructures to improve the transportation system of the country, which would stimulate economic growth. Seventh, centralizing by making public transport a government service and hiring private operators and drivers as government workers, or subsidize the upgrade our operators and drivers need. Eighth, creating better walkways for commuters, improved terminals, better road regulations, and a cashless system for buses. And lastly, promoting infrastructure and policies that support green transportation, like by using bicycles and establishing better bike lanes.
Thank you so much. We have heard the suggestions of the respondents. However, we also want to hear your suggestions as well.
As a researcher from the College of Science, here are my suggestions. First, safety for physical exercise. The government must build active transportation infrastructure like sidewalks, bike lanes, and pedestrian-friendly zones, as well as traffic calming measures to prioritize non-motorized travel that will gradually reduce reliance on motor vehicles to create a safe and accessible zones for walking, jogging, and bicycling. Second, addressing air pollution. In urban regions where car centrism is common, The government should promote the use of electric vehicles since they emit no exhaust emissions, greatly lowering air pollution. To make sure that all cars on the road fulfill set air quality requirements, the government should impose stringent vehicle emission testing and regulations. Frequent maintenance of automobiles can be encouraged by means such as emission testing, frequent inspections, and the imposition of penalties for non-compliance. Sustainable waste management strategies must also be implemented to help reduce the environmental impact of transportation. Developing and implementing carbon capture and storage or CCS technologies can help reduce the carbon footprint of the transportation sector.
As a researcher from the College of Business, here are my suggestions. First, in the Philippine industrial and labor relations, the government must subsidize public transportation passes for workers. Workers who need to commute to their workplace should be arranged and provided with carpool programs supported by employers to reduce the usage of cars, as well as given the option for a telework setup to reduce commuting needs. Second, in the Philippine investment, building effective railway system in the Philippines instead of mega highways promotes the use of public transportation and lessens the need for individual vehicle use. Modernization of PUVs must also be prioritized to enhance interior and exterior looks to match the comfort and quality needs of passengers while enticing them to utilize public transportations, as well as to have accessible stations and availability of PUVs concentrating on metropolitan areas due to the influx of passengers within each area.
Additionally, as a researcher from the College of Business, here are my suggestions. First, in the field of marketing, the government must present alternative transportation options and their cost effectiveness compared to owning a car, as well as advocate that the use of shared transportation and a walkable environment can foster a sense of connection and social interaction. It should also highlight the physical and mental benefits of walking and using public transportation instead of using private cars, as well as showcase public transportation options for different needs and lifestyles. Second, in the field of administration, the government must encourage sustainable business practices such as avoiding or reducing business travel and shift in utilizing video conferencing in order to minimize extra expense, as well as enforce car-free days and carpool challenges within the company. It must also collaborate with advocacy organizations and government agencies while engaging with community groups in order to build support for the improvement in public transportation, as well as implementing clean energy to be utilized, empowering PUVs to minimize effects on the environment.
Now, as a researcher from the College of Engineering, particularly civil engineering, here are my suggestions. First, improvement of PWVs and other public transportation means. The government must improve the adverse conditions of PWVs, as due to the hot weather of the Philippines that causes body odor due to sweating and damages skin due to sun exposure, which makes Filipinos uncomfortable during their commutes. Therefore, jeepneys and buses must now be air-conditioned and closed. All old or unmaintained PUVs that are still in operation could affect the safety of the passengers, such as those with old drum brakes installed that do not have sufficient stopping power compared to disc brakes. Also, the lower ground clearance caused by a broken suspension might cause vehicle breakdowns once it traverses on roads that are not in good condition. Thus, it is imperative to upgrade our PUVs to comply with safety standards. Second, more facilities that target public transportation instead of cars with the use of advantageous natural geographical features. The majority of road or highway infrastructures built, especially in Metro Manila, were designed for vehicles like skyways and road widening projects that were made to decrease the travel time of the users. However, due to the increased number of road users, these projects are not suitable as highways with high density create slower speeds, which affects the travel time of the users. For instance, projects such as the proposed Pasig River Expressway or PAREX do more harm than good, as it is intrusive to the local environment and historical sites. Instead, the modernization of the Pasig River ferry system is a cheaper and more practical solution.
Okay, those are all wonderful ideas. Thank you so much to our guest researchers. And that wraps up another episode of Lasallian Listens. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation as much as we did.
Thank you so much for joining us in elevating Filipino voices and empowering societal change. I hope you have learned a lot about today's topic.
Once again, I am Kali.
And I am Ryan.
Until the next episode of
Lasallian Listens. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you also to our researchers. Bye.
Bye.